Good afternoon, everybody. Prashant asked me to talk on joy of service, and I readily agreed. Service is often we think that it is synonymous with charity, but service comes with responsibility and commitment. And the first question, whom do we serve? Of course, we treat individuals irrespective of their identities, but serving the underprivileged people needs a different mindset. I liked this quotation from Professor Muhammad Yunus, who was a Nobel Peace Prize awardee. He says that poor people are like the bonsai trees. So there is nothing wrong with the seed, but they are planted in a flower pot, they can't grow. So if we realize this thing, then our dignity for service to the less fortunate will be definitely better. So this picture I took in Mayavati in Himalayas. So one gentleman was carrying his ailing mother on the back. Very heart-touching scene I saw. There I saw people walking in the mountains with the bleeding feet, but no complaint. I have seen people collecting drinking water with difficulty in the Sundarbans, no complaint. They carry patients. This is the local ambulance in the villages in Sundarban, no complaint. So why should we complain? We need to serve people meaningfully. The common people teach us patience and resilience. There are plenty of examples that we see. For them, survival is their first priority, and healthcare is yet to get a due place in the list of priorities in their lives in India. If they cannot reach us, we should reach out to them and provide equitable service to people in a socially and economically acceptable way. Here I remember my conversation with my guru, Dr. Venkateswamy. He was my mentor. We were driving out of Madurai city, and Chief said to me, look outside. We were passing by Arapalayam bus stand, I remember. He asked me, look outside, do you see more people driving or walking? I replied, there are more people walking, sir. He asked me, how far do you think they can walk? I answered, about 4 to 5 kilometers, and they have to take rest. And what about the people who are driving cars? Sir, they can go much farther. Then he said, right. So remember, if you really want to help the world, you should do something to help the people who are walking. And that actually became my mantra of life. He used to talk very little, but this was a memorable conversation between he and me, and it is recorded in his biography, Infinite Vision. So this is some of my personal pictures. My induction to social work was through Ramakrishna Mission way back in 1989. We used to go in the islands of Sundarban in these country boats. Later, when we got the opportunity, now we have organized the service involving the team. So we can easily go to the villages carrying slit lamp, indirect ophthalmoscope. Now everything is portable, trial boxes, everything. So we have organized this thing. But there are hurdles, many, many hurdles, but no one should stop us. Usually, I don't know how many of you have idea about the high tide and low tide. If it is low tide in the rivers, you have to walk through the muds. But that should not stop us. So ultimately, when you reach the shore with your muddy feet, you have enjoyed your work. And of course, everybody has talked about team building. Team building is very, very essential. And the leader makes the team aware of the social realities and values. And leader shows the way how to accept the reality and enjoy serving people, and consciously maintaining social linkages, because eye care is not a standalone activity, and expose the team members to various kinds of social activities whenever opportunity comes. So I just show one picture of flood relief. See, they are all eye care workers in different positions, how they are shifting the food items from the village inside the island. So here I think the empathy is born. And of course, case stories are very strong instrument for creating creating service-mindedness inside the worker's mind. And the leader's responsibility is highlighting the essential elements of the case story that talk about the human values in the story. I show you a picture. In this house, there were 5 individuals out of 9, including the smallest kid, was blind from bilateral genetic cataract. And definitely when you reveal this case story to your fellows, they develop different kind of mind while serving those people. So healthcare workers are responsible members of the society. So they respond to the call of the country, and they have a tremendous willingness to volunteer that I have discovered during the Amphan cyclone in 2020. That was COVID time as well. This was kind of devastation we had in Sundarban areas. And the person who is carrying the huge load of bottles, he is an optometrist. And the 2 persons, they are our outreach workers. They are carrying the food item in the boats and sailing in the boat for 6 hours and reaching the islands like this with the food items and water. So I just quoted from my Amphan diary. I wrote a diary about that. Once it happened that we were carrying huge load of food items for one island, but there was a roadblock and we got stranded for 4 hours. And then we decided that we will hand over our food items to a local contact person and he will distribute it to the villages. We reached that place around 2 a.m., but the young team members, comprising of optometrists, drivers and all, they said all were very unhappy with their half-hearted effort. One of them proposed, can't we try to reach some of the islands where we are supposed to go? Otherwise, we shall be doing the job of a transporter who carry items from place to place. Sir, हम लोग तो वो ट्रक ड्राइवर जैसे खाना लाके यहाँ offload कर दिया. उधर नहीं जा सकते. They actually wanted to meet the people who are suffering. So we agreed and we did the relief work till evening. And see how our young optometrists, ladies, they are climbing the boat. So initially I thought it will not be possible for me to follow them. Then they said, sir, don't mind, come. They lended their hand, I caught their hand, and I could also jump inside the boat and travel for hours. So this is the joy of service. And what do you get out of service? We get our livelihood, our social recognition, our professional satisfaction. Then we be part of well-being of the others and contribute to the economic growth of the country, and we attain higher level of happiness. And I'm not going to show you the detail of the picture of the video. Here is one child. When I did the cataract surgery, he was only 4 months old. Later on, this is the picture many years later. He is able to read anything using computer or cell phone, and he is able to catch a cricket ball. That means he has stereopsis. So when you see a boy, and now I heard that he is now a student of engineering in Patna. So that actually gives you the energy. So there you get the joy of service. And of course, service is never without pain. So great people attain higher spiritual levels through service to mankind. They are able to dissociate commitment of service from the personal sufferings. Rabindranath Tagore is a great example. I am giving you one example. Some of you might know Professor T.N. Jagadishan. He was a pioneer social worker in the field of leprosy. So his autobiography is named Fulfillment Through Leprosy. And here he writes, I am reading, in the months when our late daughter Meena, the wheelchairer, developed bed sores, it was not easy to proceed with the writing, but the very sweetness and patience in suffering was also an inspiration. Over the years, I have realized the value and meaning of suffering and its power to elevate one's spirit. It was this realization that made me a happy warrior and enabled me to find my fulfillment through leprosy. His life was full of sorrows, starting from his own suffering from the disease to losing family members, but he conquered everything. He became a champion. He was a close associate of Mahatma Gandhi. So I have visited his ashram in Malavantangal, close to Villupuram. So just few days back, one of my students took this picture. These two pictures are taken 12 years apart. Then I told him, why did you take this picture? He said, I found similarity, the way patients look at you. So when you are examining a child, he found this picture in Facebook. The same look was there. I said, yes, they make our life meaningful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Asim. It was wonderful to listen to you, and the way you have taken your services to the community is really wonderful. And wish you all the more power to do service to this type of to the society. Thank you again for highlighting your work.